Gabriella, oh right, no. Yeah. Gabriella Marshall, netball, centre green.
Oh, sorry. Gabriella, I'd like you to look at the players, look at their strengths and weaknesses, thinking of the skills, fitness and tactics. Talk me through what you've observed. Then pick out a major weakness and perform an action plan for them. Then you'll talk about the opportunities and provision along with health benefits. Okay, good luck.
The major strengths that the player showed was that she never got blown for footwork, so whenever she caught the ball she landed 1-2, had even weight distribution and had a slight knee bend, which made it easier for her to pass off the ball and distribute it to another player. She had a good change of direction and agility, so she used this well to get free from her opponent because she had a quick turn of her head, so it made it easier for her to get free. She also had good strength to hold off a player, and she used this well at different parts of the court depending on what the setup was. So if she was on the edge of the circle, she'd use her strength there to make sure that she was an option for the player with the ball. The tactics that she showed was that she did 2 on the wing attack on some centre passes, and this made it difficult for the opposition wing attack to get out whenever she was fully concentrated on it. And she also showed good spatial awareness and court balance, so when she did make an offer she was aware of what was around her and making sure that she used the whole space of the court. The weaknesses that she showed was that the chest pass didn't always get to the opposition. Either the defender could come in and intercept or it wasn't very accurate. This was because she didn't transfer her weight properly, so there was a lack of power behind the ball. Also, sometimes the release point wasn't in the correct place, so it made it easier for the defender with a 3-foot mark to get a hand in on the ball. She also didn't use many methods of getting free. Although I said that her change of direction was strong, she didn't vary that up, so it became quite predictable. Instead, she could have used sort of different methods such as rolls or reverse pivots. She had low cardiovascular endurance because she didn't always run onto a ball. Instead, she'd just stand for it, which made it easier for the defender to come through and intercept. She also had low coordination, both hand-eye and with her body, because she'd contact a player unnecessarily, and she also dropped the ball twice, I think, so it meant her hand-eye coordination was quite low. And she overcommitted when she was defending, so this meant that the attacker found it easier to cut back and then she'd be free, and on the next phase of play she'd be chasing a player around the court basically. The main weakness was her chest pass. So the coaching points for chest pass are: you have your feet shoulder width apart, you step forward with your weak foot and transfer your weight. Whilst you're holding the ball, you have your hands in a W position, just right behind the ball, and as you're about to pass, you rotate the ball and step forward. This is when you transfer the weight to generate all the power. The time period for the coaching action plan would be 3 30-minute sessions for 4 weeks. Prior to completing the action plan, I'd go and watch her in a game situation and observe how many chest passes she did and record the percentage of whether or not they were accurate. So if it was intercepted or it didn't make the play, obviously that would count as a negative one. The progressive practices would be: you'd start off on a wall with an X marked on the wall and do 20 passes trying to hit the target as many times as possible. Then you'd keep moving the X just around the wall to different places, obviously to get a feel for the pass. Then you'd move on to in twos, just static passing between yourselves. obviously for the chest pass it's quite a short pass, so you do it over say 5 metres, and then still in twos the player that you were passing to would put the hand out as a target and vary where they'd place the hand, obviously to give the player somewhere to aim for. And then again, still in twos, the other player would drive out and provide a moving target, which makes it more game related. Then to further the game relation, you'd get into threes and have a player that you were passing to would be defended. This makes it hard obviously because you've got to put it into the correct space without the pass getting intercepted by the defender. Then you'd move on to a small sided game, so you could do 3v3, 4v4, say in a space such as the centre third, and the emphasis would be on the accuracy of the pass, so making sure that you're getting it to your player as much as possible. The opportunities for netball, you'd start off in your school team. When you're quite young, they have an initiative called High Five, which is basically 5-a-side, and you have a rotation system which allows you to play in all the positions in a match to allow you to get a feel for each position. You then move on to clubs, so the local opportunities for clubs around here would be Stockport, Tameside and Oldham. They play in leagues such as Stockport Ball Hall. And the national opportunities for clubs, so you can play it if you qualify for nationals, you play a regional round in the northwest, and then if you qualify you go into a national competition, and that's aged under 14s and under 16s. And the senior opportunities nationally would be clubs that play in the Prem 1, 2 and 3. This is like the highest club level division. From club, if you get asked for trials, you can trial for county. There's satellite county, which is the first level, and then if good enough then you'll move on to academy county, which is the next stage. From here you can also get trials for the regional squad, which is obviously the northwest, and they train fortnightly with quite high level coaches such as Karen Gregg, who teaches lots of different things like fitness and tactics, things like that. Then if selected you get a trial for England Excel, which is under 17s and under 19s. From here there's squad progressions and you can get selected for European Championships. For example, this year they're in Malta. Then that's under 17s and 19s. To get onto under 21s, there's not so much a trial, but you get sort of asked to be selected for into the under 21s. It's just like a gradual progression, and they compete in the World Youth Championships and tournaments like that, such as European Championships as well. And then the senior team, they compete globally, for example in the Commonwealth Games and the World Championships. The health benefits for netball are muscle hypertrophy, so because it's quite an intense game, your muscles obviously get stronger from playing. You increase cardiovascular fitness, again because of the intensity, especially in positions like centre, you're running around a lot and it's lots of high intensity sprints, so your fitness increases. There's stress relief, so playing sport obviously releases endorphins which make you less stressed. Your confidence will increase because you're meeting new people. Your weight will become lower and you have lower cholesterol, which again is like lowers your obesity. You learn discipline because you've got to listen to the umpires and your coaches, make sure that you're doing what's asked of you. You learn how to work as a team because there's obviously 7 players on the court, and you learn how to communicate well with other people on your team. Reduces your chance of osteoporosis and you have increased number of alveoli, which increases your respiratory system and your gas exchange efficiency. The negative health things are that there's an open window effect, so it reduces that your immune system can become weak sometimes. It's a high impact sport, so this can cause damage to your cartilage, for example in your knees, and there's often a lot of injuries associated with netball, for example ACL injuries, shin splints and ankles because of the amount of landings that you do during the game.